Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am Pastor Marianne Kellenbach, pastor at Living Faith Church, which is located in the master plan community called Tradition in the city of Port St. Lucie on the east coast of Florida. And I welcome you to our morning devotion time, our meditation time, our scripture time, in which we are going to dive into the Word a little bit on this Wednesday, February the 9th in the year 2022. So over the next couple of weeks and in this season that we call Epiphany, the manifestation God made manifest in Jesus, we talked about God becoming known, becoming crystal clear as to who Jesus is. We are looking at the 7 signs that are in John's Gospel. So the first sign we talked about was at the wedding of Cana, where Jesus turned the water into wine. We talked about God's grace upon grace in the midst of celebration, and the surprising things that God does when we would least expect it. And then last week we talked about the healing of the royal court officer's son. And in that case, what we talked about was how this man, most likely a Gentile, a non-Jewish person at that time, would have trusted Jesus, was so desperate, knew what Jesus was capable of doing, and that he left his home in Capernaum, walking a few days to get to where Jesus was, again in Cana, to ask that Jesus come to his home and heal his son. This man had so much faith that when Jesus, who seemed to be really indifferent, right, to this man, he did, upon speaking the words, say, "Go home, your son lives." And this man trusted Jesus enough to turn around and to do a 2-day walk back to discover that, yes, indeed, his son did live. That's what we talked about, faith and trust. Now, this week, the third sign is a different story. You may have heard this story certainly before, but we're going to look at it in a different light this time. This is a man who has some type of a paralysis. Do I think he's fully paralyzed? No, but he's not capable of walking. He has a lot of difficulty in walking and has had this for 38 years. And we know that this man is lying by the pool in Bethesda. It's also known as Bethsaida. But Bethesda, as a matter of fact, we name many of our hospitals after Bethesda, the place where healing takes place. And it is at this pool that Jesus encounters the man. Now, one of the things that we talked about in yesterday's written devotion was that the man did not seek out Jesus. Jesus sought out the man. Jesus sees the man. One of the things about this particular pool is that certainly during the times in which there are festivals, there are many people, Jesus included, who are coming to Jerusalem, and they have to go into these baths, these mikvahs, these rites of purification, and they need to take these baths, and this would be the type of pool they would use to do this purification. So it has to be big enough to have a lot of people come. And one of the folklores was that the angels would come and stir up the water. Okay, the stirring up of the water can also mean that there would be a reservoir that would be opened when these baths had to be filled for all these people. So that would be the stirring of the water. But it was believed that the angels came down, stirred up the water, and the very first person who stepped foot in the pool would be the one who would be healed. And that is why this man is here, because he wants to be one of the first to be in the water. But notice that when Jesus encounters him, so first of all, he has a different type of theology, okay, and which Jesus puts that aside, doesn't even it doesn't even faze Jesus at all. And he approaches the man and he asks the man a very simple question. Do you wish to be healed? And we know that the answer is not a straightforward yes or no. So I'm going to read from the scripture that's called The Message. So let's listen to what Eugene Peterson's translation of the Greek is. In chapter 5, soon another feast came around and Jesus was back in Jerusalem. Near the sheep gate in Jerusalem, there was a pool in Hebrew called Bethsaida with 5 alcoves. Hundreds of sick people, blind, crippled, paralyzed, were in these alcoves. One man had been an invalid there for 38 years. When Jesus saw him stretched out by the pool and knew how long he had been there, he said, "Do you want to get well?" The sick man said, "Sir, when the water is stirred, I don't have anybody to put me in the pool. By the time I get there, somebody else is already in." Jesus said, "Get up, take your bedroll, start walking." The man was healed on the spot. He picked up his bedroll and walked off. I love that the man does not give Jesus a yes or no answer. It's like he comes up with an excuse. There's no one that can put me in the water so I can be the first. So in that discussion right away, Jesus is understanding that this man has a different belief system. But that does not stop Jesus. The fact that the man did not answer him, give him an answer, gave him an excuse, and revealed his beliefs, okay, not in the God of healing, but in something different, Jesus doesn't hesitate to heal him. That gives us a lot to think about, doesn't it? Is it about right belief? Or is it about what Jesus does, what God does, choosing us, coming to us, and no matter what our excuse may be, no matter what our belief may be, healing us? That is what's called grace. That's the part that we don't understand. This is not about this man's faith. It's not like the story that we heard last week in sign number 2 in the healing of the man who is the one that we think wouldn't be the one who would believe, did indeed believe and trust so much that he dragged Jesus back to his house to say, "I want to see you physically heal my son." He believed that his son lived. In this case, we have someone who absolutely doesn't believe, didn't even ask Jesus for the healing, didn't even answer the question. And yet, Jesus heals. What is being revealed here, made crystal clear to us? It's not about what we do. It's not about what we do as to whether or not God bestows grace upon us. It is all based on God and God being God. And in that, God bestows grace upon us. Take that as you walk through this day today, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Blessings.